here into the second game of Group A. There you see them. Boss versus Kaito, smiling into the camera with the beautiful Sky Striker jackets. Let's see it from them here.
I can't wait for this. I still find it very interesting that our first duelists have both chosen to play Snake Eyes instead of Tenpai, the Tenpai strategy. I think they are all so very confident with their going first. Feels another Snake Eye deck here from Kaito. Boss is going second. Temple is not necessarily the strongest start, but if you combine it with other cards, it's still pretty good. Snake Eye Ash is being sent to the graveyard.
That's a good card to combine it with there right away. Dial Bells of a Black Witch, making sure there already is a level 1 fire in the graveyard if we at some point do get to, for example, the Promethean Princess. So certainly a start we can work with at the very least.
But keep in mind that now the Promethean Princess, original Sinful Spell Snake Eyes, of course, also can now summon out the Snake Eyes Oak immediately. But there is a potential window for a response. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is very huge here if there is no further plays from Kaito, of course. What can save him here? He needs to go into a Promethean Princess, and that's still full combo then.
That is a bossy answer there from Boss, but he has the Fiends of Track, and that is a perfect answer for the moment. He still, and yeah, you were already kind of looking at me like that. He needs another card to go into a real Fiendsmith combo here if he wants to get to that.
He hasn't normal summoned yet, though, so that's pretty much still in the cards. Every Fuvalos in the hand could enable a full combo. But, I mean, Boss is also still having 4 cards in hand.
Pretty much, so I'll be an interrupt. There it is. We have used Ash Blossom and Joy Spring already, which would be the only card really able to interact with the Requiem. So, okay, that's another card interacting with it quite well. The Mold Charmy Fuvalos, that gets matched with the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring from Kaito though, but that leaves them with only one remaining card in hand. We could have normaled the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring to go into a full Fieldsmith combo, so there must be another monster, I think.
Yeah, do you Ash if you don't have another monster?
I don't think you can.
I also think you need to keep the Ash for Boss's turn then, so I would assume that there is one more card that you can play out here, but Kaito is hesitating here. If it was a monster, you would normal summon it immediately. Right?
It is the monster. It is the Maxi. Good that we continue. Tough though that we have to give up on our Maxi, because just imagine now FSN Boss sitting there with another Infinite Impermanence or in effect Veiler on this Fiendsmith sequence. That could be crazy, but there's still the Engraver already in the graveyard, isn't it? So we could just bring back the Engraver, still going to Promethean Princess. So we would need a couple more interruptions here. So I think it was definitely worth using the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring there on the Fuvalos. We do get to resolve the Fiendsmith sequence, and resulting into the Lacrima.
We don't even need to go into a Beatrice now. Snake Eye Ash is already in the graveyard, so even something like a Bestial wouldn't help here, even though I don't think that the players are running this necessarily in the tournament, even though the Fiendsmith engine is so strong and you want to basically banish the Engravers. I don't know if that's like the primary target you're going for if you want to interrupt the Snake Eye combo, because the Fiendsmith cards are not what make or break the deck. It's basically Snake Eye Ash.
Making or breaking, we saw Nibiru having a decent impact on the first round. That would be a card that could kind of break it here for Kaito, to be honest, because after Nibiru here, there's no really anything that you can do afterwards. And I think, I mean, if Boss has Nibiru, I think he would have activated it at this point. So it's probably rather Kaito thinking right now.
There is a way, if Lina is being played, and you have... No, you can go into a token with Lina, right? Into a Lina with token, so you can summon back Engraver.
I don't think we can afford to play Lina in this deck, though.
If you were to play Lina, you could send the Engraver. Send the Nibiru with the Engraver, summon out Nibiru, and go into Promethean Princess afterwards. So there might be a chance. But I mean, if you have Nibiru, you definitely drop it now. But nope, we are summoning out Snake Eye Ash, and with this I think we can almost confirm that Nibiru is not going to hit the field here. We search for Snake Eyes Poplar, and now Kaito gets going. Investing the Maxi as a normal summon from hand, but now look where it got him.
Snake Eyes Poplar being another monster we need for more Link summons. Not able to activate the effect anymore, as we already have the Temple on the field and have, of course, also already the original Sinful Spells in the graveyard, which got ashed earlier on. Oh, look at that. We could just get the sequence for free to send it off for the Snake Eye Ash. So basically, for no extra cost at all, almost, we can bring out this Snake Eye Oak.
And we haven't used Requiem yet, right? So we can have another card that you could send with the Oak. However, you might also want to decide to send away the Promethean Princess, because currently Kaito is being locked into fire monsters. However, you might as well just link it off into a Sunlight Wolf. So I don't know if that's necessary.
Oh, you're right. If we play Sunlight Wolf, we already have the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring also in the graveyard, so that would be fantastic here. There is a link too. That gotta be
so
the
big.
Sunlight Wolf, right? It is, of course. Celebrate Sunlight Wolf. Some Snake Eye players even play lines with Beatrice, the Eternal Lady, to send Ash Blossom and Joy Spring to the graveyard to have access to it. But we already used it on the full velos from our opponents, so it is sitting in that graveyard naturally, and therefore we do have access for it here right away by bringing back. Oh, we do not even take it though. We value the Snake Eye Oak more. We want follow-up. That's what we are prioritizing right now, which is a bold call, to be honest.
Yeah, that's wild in my opinion, because you can get back some of the resources next turn as well if you get Flamberge back to the field. However, doesn't necessarily look like it. We sent away the temple, so we can't special summon out Flamberge from the Spell and Trap zone, and we can activate Poplar now to put the Flamberge back into the Spell and Trap zone. But yeah, summoning it out is not an option, so I think getting the Oak here might actually not be that bad, because it guarantees follow-up. Otherwise, you might not get any.
I mean, Kaito, even though his point of qualification was in the spring season, which has been quite some month ago, though, we can clearly see that he's very up-to-date here with the metagame, and he is very, very, very good with the current Snake Eye combos that he's performing here. And there is Appaloosa, Bow of the God is being made. And this field, I mean, it does still look formidable through two-hand interactions, to be honest. And he's not even done yet.
I want to say, though, I think we're pretty much done at this point, because Promethean Princess is already out. Promethean Princess in the graveyard is right now kind of an interruption, because you can target your own Poplar. However, then you're locked into fires again. So if you want to IP Masquerena, okay, we send away the Poplar here. So I think we don't even go for Promethean Princess at this point, because now you could just IP SP and the Appaloosa, which is great.
Okay, we go into the Flamberge Dragon in the Spell and Trap zone. We haven't even used Fiends with Engraver. Look at this. We were certain that it must have been used already, and watch this. You said we haven't used Requiem earlier, so do we still have the Requiem in graveyard to possibly... Okay, it is just bad right now.
I think
passing on this.
We sent away the Requiem with Sequence earlier.
Yeah, true. So, 4 cards in hand. Can Boss do it? Breaking through this certainly formidable field, but if one can do it, then it shall be Boss. Of course, Quanto watching this match carefully right now, as he knows he is going to be in the same group as these two players as well.
Linkery was also a cool setup. It protects the IP at first, and then in the next turn, you basically ensure that you're trying to ensure that your Snake Eye Oak effect is going through. If something like an Effect Value or Impermanence was top decked and the field can be broken from Boss, then you can still chain Linkariba to those cards, tribute the Oak, and get it off the field, so the effect can resolve and special summon out Snake Eye Ash in the process. However, Promethean Princess is not really a thing right now for Kaito.
I mean, we can, worst case scenario, just go IP Masquerena, summon out a Firelink monster, right? We can just go into Nightmare Phoenix possibly on our opponent's turn if there is something.
And get
but then our follow-up with the Oak is also not that great anymore, as it's gone in that case. It's certainly going to be interesting. Is Boss even playing a Snake Eye deck? We don't know. We have no information. Cards in the deck are actually a clean and swift 40, so that could be an indicator for a possible 10-pie Dragon deck. We haven't seen it yet, and you see that Boss really, really thinking about this very, very hard, not making a move now for quite some time, really scheduling out his turn, trying to figure out what the best line is, and has he found it? And look at Kaito. He's just awaiting what Boss may be bringing onto him, and he's already... That's what pro players do. That's what high-caliber players do. They immediately recap their own actions. They're thinking through, did I do everything correct? This field looks amazing. It is really, really good, but Kaito still in his head is thinking, was there something I could have done even a little bit better than this? And I think he came to the solution that maybe there was one better thing to do.
So I think that this field can easily be broken. Oh, Hydra is being normal summoned, and I don't think that Kaito will love this, because the deck, if it plays multiple field breaking cards, we've just seen Maxi before. This could still very well be Sky Striker. Then a Droplet here would be so crucial. No Droplet is huge though. So Hydra is just being negated here. What else does Boss have? 3 cards in hand. If it is a Sky Striker version, I don't know. There has to be more follow-up, or is he just sitting on 4 dragons in hand?
Possibly. Of course, he could have the hard-drawn Sengen Kaiman as well, which could be very, very, very strong. As
but
with
you
the second
activated
monster.
that before, no?
Are you sure? The Sengen Kaiman? Why?
Oh, Sengen Kaiman. I thought
Yeah.
you said Sengen Summoning.
No, Sengen Kaiman I think is a good card because that brings your second monster onto the field in the battle phase. At the end of main phase, Kaito kind of forced to probably already use IP Masquerena because you just want to make sure that there are no 2 monsters in the battle phase. Yep, we see end of main phase. I think that is what Boss is telegraphing here. It is him saying, I do have the Sengen Kaiman, which could also, though, be something to play around with, right? You kind of force Kaito here in this situation to go into the SP Little Knight and watch him just now activating a Sengen Summoning instead, for example, and that cannot be dealt with anymore with the SP Little Knight. Then, okay, we still head into the battle phase, so there must be that Sengen Kaiman, right?
Or we see the surprise evenly match of the year. Passing the turn now on the side of Boss, the Tenpai strategy fails again to overcome the Snake Eyes field. And there is not even a Fuchio on the field here. It's Linkuriboh, SP Little Knight, and Appaloosa. And honestly, those are great cards to carry into your second turn. The third turn of the duel. Kaito sitting on 2 cards. We know one of those is the Snake Eyes Oak. Linkuriboh right now not in the graveyard. Oh, we draw Sanguine Wakes from a Millennium, which is also a very nice card to keep on applying pressure here. A lot of attack points.
Very much so.
I think we want to get Linkuriboh into the graveyard. You could just go, for example, for an Nexus Code Talker here.
Oh, I am not really thinking that we have...
Extra deck is tight.
Yes, very, very tight indeed. But I like it. We addressed the situation that yesterday the Millennium cards were missing for us personally, and the players that have all the experience from playing all of those Challenger Cups, they show us today that playing the Millennium cards just adds so much actually to the Snake Eye strategy, and they show us why they are so valuable and so good at the moment. And not only in round 1, but immediately in the second game after as well, we do have both players showcasing that these cards help you massively. So we go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. There is the Fiendsmith Requiem again.
That was incredibly quick, by the way. Requiem is now being activated here, summoning out the Fiendsmith Engraver. And now, what next? I mean, Kaito has all the freedom in the world right here. There is very little that final boss that boss seems to do against him. Snake Eyes Oak going to activate as well. Now we're going to see, is it just going to resolve as well? What can boss have there?
That is the question. Like, we have to ask ourselves what could be there. If it would be Sengen Kaiman, they would have activated it on the last turn. Honestly, if there would be Forbidden Droplet, I kind of feel like they would have also used it last turn.
As well.
So there's not really any answers I can find in terms of cards that they would have there. One thing that they could possibly have is maybe a Nibiru in hand that they top decked, and maybe they were relying on Kaito to commit into Nibiru and therefore help the Infinite Impermanence. I think that might be possible somehow, because they thought that one Hydra is never going to win against the field that they have there, so I save the Imperm and hopefully have a good turn combination of Imperm and Nibiru. But now we see that we are going into Fiendsmith Desiree, so we have a possible answer for an possible Infinite Impermanence even. Is that what we're trying to head into the battle phase with here?
Not yet. It doesn't have any material yet, so if you want to Nibiru, the Primal Being at some point, you have to do it now. Linking off the sequence. Of course, you want to get it into the graveyard. You want to use the link rating. Nightmare
we
Phoenix
do have Nightmare Phoenix. Not co-link, but still able, of course, to destroy Gold Sarcophagus there on the side of Boss. Oh, I'm having a feeling this might be the Blaster in the hand then, because otherwise we would have surely activated the Gold Sarcophagus.
The thing is, then Appaloosa just actually negates that, so that's also very, very tough one. We're going to the battle phase. No Nibiru, the Primal Being. Is there a Drowning Mirror Force? Boss just takes 2,800 damage, 275, and the next attack is going to be enough to close it out for Kaito and win the first round of the group.
Yep, Kaito joining the winner's circle in Group A, so him and Quantal with the start that they were wishing for, and we see the Snake Eye Millennium deck really shining there, and we see Kaito smiling big time on the screen there. It's of course such an awful, also mentally important thing to win the first round because it's the worst one to lose, right? Because if you start negatively into the tournament, you have to overcome that. You have to from there on just win everything. You have to be Colossa. She did it yesterday, but it's definitely something that you have to work really, really hard for.
Especially in those small groups, going 2-1 almost guarantees you a spot in the top cut, and that is, I mean, winning one of the next 2 games. Manageable because all of these duelists are at the top level, so with a little bit of luck and good focus, I think you're in a very good spot if you win the first round.
Let's see whether Kaito thinks he has that focus to maybe go all the way today, because we're ready with the interview. Ed and Kaito, take it away.
Thank you very much, Lampi. Yes, I am here with Kaito, who's just won his first game here at the Challenger Cup final. Now, just before we came on camera, you were saying, oh, I was nervous. Talk to us about how you've been feeling.
I misplayed in my combo, and I was nervous that he has enough to break through, but he didn't. So I'm really glad that I won.
Well, that just teaches you, you know, even in a moment where you feel you've misplayed, you can just keep calm and keep going, and you can still come out on top. So this is the kind of thing that's going to push you through, I think. The guys were just saying, you know, I wonder if he's got the focus to go all the way. Do you think you have the focus to go all the way to the final?
Yeah, I need to stop misplaying, and then I'm going through, I think.
Finally, just want to ask, what does the Challenger Cup and that sort of initiative mean to you?
I like that there are weekly tournaments, and you can win cool prizes. I like that you can win a PC, so you don't pay anything for the entry, and then you can win really nice prizes. So.
Cool thing for the community. So yeah, make sure you guys take part in any Challenger Cups if you haven't already. And if you guys do well, maybe you'll be at the next finals. Well, congratulations on your win. I'm going to give you some time to decompress a little bit. But coming up next, guys, we've got Mist versus Bronus. So we're going to have a conversation with Mist.